Everyone got all quiet.
Hello, my name is Krissy Duncan, and I am going to speak to you guys about diabetes. I'm going to explain to you guys the two differences of diabetes, the two different types, and explain some different effects that it can have on you. The first thing is that there is type 1 diabetes, which is, I don't know if any of you guys know what it is. Anybody know? No. Type 1 is where you are insulin dependent, which you have to have insulin, and it means typically that you cannot produce insulin, so you have to have it to be able to survive. Now, type 2 diabetes is different. Type 2 diabetes is you most of the time can produce insulin, but it doesn't work properly is pretty much what it is. So, and a lot of times with type 2, you can diet and exercise, and sometimes you don't have to be on medication. You can just kind of check, make sure you eat right, which is usually like a low-carb diet. The other thing is, if you do not, catch diabetes in time, if you, go a year or two not knowing you have diabetes, which is likely to happen a lot sometimes in type 2 diabetes, you can actually have problems start out, or you can have problems that can affect your eyes, your teeth, your liver, your kidneys. It can all shut down because of it. So that's one thing that's really dangerous. If you got diabetes in your family history, always make sure you get checked to make sure that, just in case if something happens and find out 2 years later that, hey, I'm diabetic and I didn't know, but I have nerve damage or my kidneys are shutting down because of this or that, then you know. Another thing is you got to just make sure that you keep up on your blood sugar checks also, because it can be very dangerous too. A lot of times, in a lot of diabetics that are type 2 or type 1 depending, you can have problems with not checking your blood sugars, and when you don't check them, your blood sugar can be really, really low, and once it gets really, really low, in the lower levels, which lower levels usually running under 70 to you could go really low, and you can actually go into diabetic coma. So if not checking them regularly, it can be very dangerous too, or you can get them really, really high too, and really high is not good for you, because that's where the damage usually comes from of your body. So I had mentioned to you guys about the differences between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. I mentioned some of the effects it can have on your body. I mentioned some of the areas that it can affect in your body. And I don't know, do you guys have any questions?
I do.
What's that?
What's the perfect level?
Perfect level, it depends. It kind of goes either, most doctors will tell you that it's from 70 to, or 90 usually to 120, depending, but it really depends on the person. Sometimes your doctor will say your normal level is, from 100 to 110. That's what they like to stay at, but that doesn't mean that that's your normal. Your normal sometimes could be, your normal is usually what you wake up to in the morning, and they want you to make sure that it stays at an accurate, level. There's a normal level, like I said, it could be from, usually from 90 to 110, 120, depending on the person. A high one would be either above 180 to way up in 200s to 500s or higher. Now low, like I said, if it gets down to anything below 70s, it's usually pretty low, so it's not really safe. But so it's just best to make sure you keep it on the straight, even in the 70s to 120, somewhere around up there majority of the time. So, I think that's about it. Anybody else have any more questions?
No.
No?
Mommy.
My mommy has a question.